Hey there, fellow coders. Me, the Web3 Idiot. Welcome back to our series on the hash map in JavaScript, also known as an object. Today, we'll be tackling our second problem in our series. If you missed our first problem, go check it out. And if you missed our intro to hash maps or objects in JavaScript, go check out episode number 1 in this playlist. So today we're moving on to our second question, which is slightly harder than our last one was, which was to find the frequency of every element or a target element in an array. This time we're going to find the first unique element in an array. So what exactly does that mean? That means we are going to be given an array. This array will have we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. All right, so here is our input. It is an array. We have a 1, a 2, another 1, another 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, another 5, and another 6. It does not have to be in order. I just happen to put it that way. So unique means it only appears one time. So this 1 appears 2 times. So that is not our unique element. This 2 appears 2 times. It's not a unique element. This 3 appears 1 time. It is a unique element. This 4 also 1 time. Ooh. It is also a unique element. This 5 and this 6 are not unique. So we have 2 unique elements, this 3 and this 4, but we only want to return the first element, which is a 3. Now, what would happen if we have a 3 and a 4? That means there are no unique elements. That means we would want to return a -1. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty straightforward, and let's go ahead and jump in. So it's going to be pretty much the same as our last implementation. Our first one will use a standard object, which of course is just the brackets, in which case we have a key and a value. That is how it is presented. The other one that we will use would be the actual map object that is available with JavaScript. So let's go ahead and jump into our implementation here. So our first one would be that we create a frequency map, a frequency object. So exactly what we did with the last one. So we'd have 1 would be a frequency of 2, 2 would have a frequency of 2, they'd all have frequencies of 2. And then after that, we would loop through array and return if value is 1. Else, what would we do? We would return a -1 after the loop. After loop and no return, then we would return -1. And yeah, pretty much the exact same thing with our map. So we would create a frequency map, loop through the array, and return if value is 1, comma, after the loop and no return, then what we want to do is return a -1. They're pretty much the exact same implementation. The only thing different is the object and this map object that we're going to be using. And yeah, the key here is to learn how to use the map. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So for our time complexity, first up, we loop through all of these numbers to create a map or frequency map. And then after that, we loop again. So that'd be 2 in, but with big O notation, you do not say 2 in, you just say in. So that'd be an O of n, in which case it would take the number of elements in an array. That would be our time. And then our space complexity, we are creating an object, in which case the worst case scenario is every item is unique. And in that case, we're just making pretty much a copy of n. So it'll be O of n and O of n. These could be pretty straightforward. And let's just go ahead and jump in. So here we go. We'll start off with our first one. So we have function first, unique, and inside, what are we going to be passing? We're going to be passing an array. And then here, this is where we create our object. So we say let frequency equal an empty object. From there, we can switch it up. Instead of using a for loop, we can use a for each. So I can say array dot for each. Hope you remember these. You can go back and look at our array series. There's a bunch of really cool things you can call on arrays. And from here, what we're going to do is we want to take our number, and from there we pass it forward, and we have to do some checks. We say if our frequency at number, and we just do that. If frequency at number, that means we're checking if it exists. Then we would say frequency at our number gets incremented. Else, we have to create it. So we say frequency at the number, and what are we going to do? We're going to set that equal to 1. So here we check if it exists, and if it does exist, we just increment the value. If it does not exist, we create it and set it to 1. So that is our first step, and then we move on to our second step, which is finding the first element with frequency of 1. So we say for. We say let I, but we don't need. Do we need it? No, we don't need it. So we can say for, say const num of array, because we don't need the index. And then we say if we do frequency at number triple equals 1. So if it does equal 1, then what are we going to do? We're going to return the number. And if we see the first number that equals 1, it breaks out and it just returns. And down here, if we do not find a number with a value of 1, a key with a value of 1, then what are we going to do? We are going to return -1. So let's go ahead and check this out. Console.log. And what are we going to do? We're going to log first unique. Inside, let's go ahead and use this array up here. We'll put that there. Boom. And what are we expecting? We are expecting a value of -1 because there are no unique values here. We have two ones, we have 2 2s, we have 3 3s, we have 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 6s. So over here, we are expecting a value of -1. Let's run it. It is. Uh-oh, what is wrong here? Number is not defined. Oh, sorry. There we go. And boom, let's run it. And we do get -1. All right, let's reset. Ba-bam. And let's get rid of this 4. That means now the value we're expecting would be 4. Let's run it. And we do get a 4. And let's get rid of this 3. Now 3 appears before 4, so we're expecting 3 to be our output. Let's run it. And we do get a 3. So how do we do this with a map object? It's pretty much the exact same thing. So we go to function, we're going to say first unique map. That's what we'll be using. And we're going to pass an array. In here, we're going to say let frequency equal new map. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing. We do array dot for each. And then inside, we're going to take out the number and pass it over here. And because map is a little bit different, what we're going to do is say that we will get the frequency dot set. And what are we going to do? We're going to set the number. And inside, we're going to say, we can break it down outside actually. So we could say let curval equal, we're just doing this for the sake of you as the viewer. So let curval equal the frequency dot get, and what are we getting? The number, so the value attached to this key, or we're going to say 0. And then over here, we're going to say curval plus 1. We did this the same way when we did our frequency map in our last video. And yeah, there's that. And then pretty much what we do is the exact same thing here, except instead of using frequency at number, we say frequency.get. So we can say for const num of array. And what are we doing? We say if frequency.get, we have to use this method, get, and we're passing in the number, triple equals 1. Then what are we doing? We're going to return the num. And just like our top function, what are we going to do if we go through that and there's not a unique number? We return -1. So let's go ahead, I'll grab this again, swing it on down, come down here, we'll say console.log. What are we doing? Find, first unique map, and inside we'll be passing this array. Let's reset. What we're expecting over here would be a -1 because we're using the original array, which there are no unique numbers. And what do we get? We get a -1. Again, let's try it with a 4 is gone. So what are we expecting? A 4, good. And let's try it with the 3 that appears before the 4. What we're expecting over here would be a 3. Let's run it. And we do get a 3. All right, very good. So that was finding the first unique element in an array. I helped you solve it with the original object and with the newer map object, which is pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, if you have any questions, put them below. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little bit. Thank you. I'll be posting another video in a couple days.